So you can see that you're given 2 out of the 3 forms you're going to be working with. So in the middle bubble, you're just going to write 3 forms of quadratics. So they're going to be written in 3 different ways. Just like you know that there's standard form and slope-intercept form, like what we just did when you converted from standard to slope-intercept form, you know that there's going to be 3 different forms that you're going to see quadratics in, but you're going to have to tell what form it's in. So make sure. Yeah. So the first form is standard form. So write that right here, standard form. Standard form you're given right here. It says standard form. Did you see it? At the bottom of your formula sheet. They give you standard form. So you're just going to write that formula in there. AX squared plus BX plus C. And so you'll need to know what is the best thing to look for when it's in each form. So the first thing is your A, and we already learned about your A. Your A is your leading coefficient. So what your A tells you is the direction of phasing. So is it positive or negative, or up or down? So if it's positive, you know that it's going to be going up like that. If it's negative, you know it's going to be going down. So that A tells you whether the parabola is going up or down. The other thing that's easy to get from this equation is your y-intercept. That's because it's just your C, it's your constant at the end. So 0 and whatever your C is your y-intercept. The next form that we're going to be working with is vertex form. And that's also on your formula sheet. And so you can see that vertex form is right underneath. It looks a little bit more complicated. It looks like this. So once again, your A is still the same. Your A is still your direction of facing. So that A in front tells you the direction of facing. Is it positive Patricia or negative Nancy? What main word is in that form? It's what type of form? What does it say? Vertex form. So you're going to be able to derive the vertex out of this. Which means you're also going to be able to get your axis of symmetry, because it's just your x coordinate of your vertex, and also your min and max, because that's your y coordinate of your vertex. What your vertex is it's the opposite, and I just remember, see how it's in parentheses? It's the opposite of what's in here. I can make an O with this, so that reminds me it's like opposite like that. So it's the opposite of whatever number that is, so minus h. Negative just means opposite, and the same as what's on the outside, plus k. And it'll make more sense in a few seconds. Your axis of symmetry is just x equals negative h, so whatever the opposite of what your h is. Your min and max is just your y equals k. Remember also that your direction of facing tells you if it's going to be a min or a max. So if it's positive, you know there's going to be a min. If it's negative, you know it's going to be a max. The last one is not on your formula sheet, but it's called factored form. Do you guys remember factoring? Like what multiplies to this and adds to that would be x. Anyone remember that from last semester? So that's what this, a lot of the middle of this unit will be about factored form. And so so this formula is not given to you on your formula sheet, so that's just one you're going to need to memorize. What's wrong? So it's x minus r1 and x minus r2. Your a is still the same, so your a is your direction of facing. Just like the parentheses were opposite in vertex form, the parentheses are opposite in here too. What this is giving you are your r means roots. What are your roots? What are your, what do they mean? X1. They're your x coordinates of your x intercepts. So they're your roots, x-intercepts, zeros, solutions. Those words are going to be used interchangeably. They all mean your x-intercepts. What it is, it's just the opposite of whatever's in there. So if this was x minus 5, x minus 2, your x-intercepts would be 5 and 2. So your x-intercepts, why we factor, which you'll be doing later on, is to get your x-intercepts, your roots. But that equation right there isn't going to be given to you. The other two are on your formula. Does everyone have that down? Okay. So what you're going to do first is this worksheet. I don't want you to look at anything right now except the equation and what form it is. So looking at this equation, what form is that equation in? So this is on your worksheet. Vertex form. So I'm going to write vertex form right here. What are the 3 things that vertex form can give me? Actually 4. What 4 things can vertex form give me? The min and max. What else? Looking at your little notes that you just did. What else can vertex form give me? The vertex. What else? Axis of symmetry. What's the last one? Direction of facing. So it's going to write DO. So here's the equation in case it's on your paper, but it's this right here. So what would the vertex be? What if we say this is the opposite, right? Because we have it, it's almost like telling us, make it opposite. What's the opposite of positive 1? Negative 1. So that's the x coordinate of my vertex. Is this opposite or is it not opposite right here? This negative 3. Is it in the parentheses? No. Nope. So it's the same as what's outside. So my vertex would be -1, -3. That means what's your axis of symmetry? Good. X equals 1. Good. Axis of symmetry is your x coordinate of your vertex. Looking at your A, is the leading coefficient positive or negative? Positive. So is it going to go up or down? Up, right? It's up because it's positive. And does that mean, is it going to have a min or a max? If it's going up like this. A min, right? And what would my min be? Negative. Now, real quick, I want to show you how, I'm not going to do a whole lesson on this, but now put the equation into table on your calculator. So click table and put this right in just as you see it. 2 parentheses, x plus 3. So you're putting it right into table on your calculator. Yeah. So you're putting that equation into table, and I want you to fill out the table that's right here. So you're putting it, clicking table, typing in your equation, and filling out that table. What do you end up getting, Kimberly? What do you end up getting? Can you just read it down to me? 5, -1, -2, -1. Beautiful. Did everyone get that when they typed it in their calculator? Perfect. Now, looking at that, do you guys see a pattern with that table? See how it goes from 5 to -1 to -3, and then it starts going back again? See, it follows that pattern? So the one in the middle, see how this guy's in the middle? It goes from -1 to this, back to that. That is your vertex. So that I'm just showing you how you can find it on a table too. Notice it is the same vertex we found from the equation. So how to find your vertex from a table is you just look at it and you're finding the bump, or where it goes from a number, your y values go from a number to a different number back to that same number. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, let's try the next one. What form is that in? What form is this one in? The next one. Standard. It's in vertex. It looks like the one above, right? See it how there's parentheses involved? Because of that, it looks like that. I know it's vertex. So what things can I get from the vertex form? Vertex, axis of symmetry, direction of facing, and min and max. So what would my vertex be? Who can for a brain pop? Who can tell me what the vertex would be? Yaslin. How'd you get that? Yep. Perfect. So it's the opposite of what's in the parentheses at H and then the K. So if you were to put that into table and you totally forgot about that lesson, you would be able to find it by finding the bump. Who can raise their hand for a brain buck and tell me what the axis of symmetry would be, Tyree? Good. I like that you corrected yourself. X equals -1. Beautiful. Who can raise their hand for a brain buck and tell me the direction of facing? Go for it, Tristan. Up. You're right. Why? What's the invisible number right here? If there is none. Not 0. 1, right? So 1's always there if there's no number. So because 1's positive, I know it's going up. So that means if it's going up, is there a min or a max? Remember, it's pointing like this. So we could see right here that that would be my min. What would my min be? Y equals what? 2. All right, let's do one on the back. Turn it over. Now we're on number 4. What form is that one in? Standard form. Perfect. So I know it's in standard form. What 2 things can I find from standard form? Y-intercepts and direction of facing. Who can raise their hand for a brain buck and tell me the y-intercept of this? Remember, that's good. 4 get you extra bathroom passes. Keandra. Beautiful. 0,8. Because you know it's your C right here. Is this a direction of facing? Is it up or down? Up. Why? Because our A is, what's the invisible number right here? 1. And so since it's 1, it's positive. Cool. Now, type that into your table, that equation, x squared minus 6x plus 8, and fill out that table and see if you can find the vertex. So type in that equation into your table and see if you can find the vertex. Can you tell me what I fill out right here?
3. 0. -1. 0. 3.
Perfect. So, Amari, can you tell me which one my vertex would be? Tyreek, you want to try? How'd you get that? It's the one that goes from 0. See how it goes from a number to a different number back to that same number? I know that would be my vertex. For a brain buck, who could tell me what else I could find from that table? There's something else I can look at that we learned about that I can find just looking at the table we made. You can raise your hands, tell me one other thing. Yes. You can find the axis of symmetry. I'll give you that. So the axis of symmetry, what is it? X equals, beautiful. You find the axis of symmetry, what else can we find? Max and min, is it a max or a min? And that's when y equals -1. What else? What else could you find from looking at that table?
It's technically 2 things.
What did you say? We did find the axis symmetry.
Groups?
What are the roots?
2 and 4.
Do you guys see that? 2, 0, 2, 0, and 4, 0. So those are your roots. Beautiful. What's another? Who can raise a hand for a brain buck? Tell me another word for roots. More. Sure. Who can give me another one?
No.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Zeros. What's another one? There's one more. What's the X? Yeah. Perfect. Cool.
Answer questions you solve.
All right. So what you're gonna do is this is gonna be on Delta Math. So I'm gonna show you what your Delta Math assignment is. I am changing the number. It was 5. I'm gonna make it a little bit more. So even if you finish it, I'm just gonna give you. You're just gonna need to do a couple extra. So if you look on your 6.2, so I'm right here. I'm going to 6.2, so make sure not to do that. So here's the first one. Which one matches the graph? And what I don't want, Karan, is clicking and guessing, or else I'm going to start giving you guys it will take away a penalty. It will take away a point. So first, is this negative Nancy or positive Patricia? Negative Nancy. So which two can I eliminate off the bat? These positive ones, right? I can eliminate these two because they're positive. So I'm left with these. What does this last number tell me? Not the vertex. What are these two numbers tell me? Not the axis symmetry. Look at your notes, because this is standard form. What does standard form give me? It gives me the direction of facing. What's the other thing? Y-intercept. What is your y-intercept right here? -5, right? Which one's -5? That one. So that's my answer. So that's how you do the first one. This second one is like this. So you're finding, this is in factored form, so you got to find your x-intercepts. So when I'm going to zoom in, what are your two x-intercepts? What's this one? -3 and -1. So I know it's got to be the opposite. So if it's -3 and -1, I know it's got to be +3 and +1. But there's two of those. So I need to figure out the direction of facing. Is this positive or negative? Leading coefficient. Positive. So I know this has got to be my answer. Does that make sense? So you're just looking for the leading coefficient and the x-intercepts. Then there's this one, and you're finding the vertex because it's in vertex form. So what is the vertex here, right here? 8, 3. And so I got to figure out, okay, I know it's got to be the opposite, so it's got to be -8, and 3 is the same, so I know it's got to be that one. Does that make sense? Okay, last one is this. This is saying, I'm going to delete this one because this one's a little too advanced for this lesson. So I am going to change these to 10 just in case you've done them and they're 5. So you are going to still need to work on them. We'll give you a device if you need one. And then your ticket out the door looks like this. So it's giving you, it's at the bottom of this. So it's giving you 4 different questions. You're writing the form and each of the things they're asking for. Sound good?